So I went back in.
Go.
Hello, good morning, pickers and grinners. Welcome to the FretJob. The FretJob is a live video podcast where we dig into the bones of the guitar world and we touch on pretty much anything with music involvement. The FretJob is brought to you live from Frizzell Guitars at 228 Jane Trail in Danville, Kentucky, Kentucky's premier guitar store and full-service luthier shop. So today, I am happy to be here, and I'm going to toss it on over to my co-host, the owner and professional luthier at Frizzell Guitars, Mr. Brandon Edwards.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the FretJob here. My name is Brandon Edwards, and I am your co-host, your luthier extraordinaire. I am all things musical instruments, guitars, and love of building guitars. And I want to welcome you out to the FretJob. Let me introduce my co-host here, Jonathan McWhorter. He is Kentucky's real estate agent. He is everything. He is a jaw heart picker or player. He is just an all-around great musician, great friend, and we're glad to have him here on the FretJob with us.
All right, man. I'm just glad to be here. Glad to be alive.
I think we're all glad to be alive here after these gas prices.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be back in the groove of weekly FretJob episodes. And we're going to talk about some cool stuff today. We're going to touch on a little bit on ukuleles. I don't know. I keep wanting to bring that up just because I really like ukuleles.
No, yeah.
And we're also going to talk a little bit about NAMM today. And for those of you all that do not know what NAMM is like the wish list wonderland. NAMM is something that happens, I believe, twice a year. And it's basically when all the new stuff in the areas that we love talking about comes out. So all the new technology, all the new guitars, new recording equipment, pretty much anything to do with music that just came out this year, they debut these products at NAMM, and basically the people that come through and look at this stuff are guys like Brandon that own guitar stores and work at guitar stores. Sometimes the flunky that works there also gets to go along with the owners, but
yeah.
That's what NAMM is.
So we talked a little bit about ukuleles in the past, but we're really going to dedicate an episode to it, or part of to it. Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about NAMM stuff. John, do you want me to kick it off with some NAMM things?
Yeah, tell us a couple of items that you heard about that came out at NAMM this year.
I was reading, looking, and I was on Guitar World magazine. That was something that I was looking at, give quotes to them. And Tosin Abasi is coming of age as a guitar designer. Now, I don't know if you know it, Tosin Abasi, I think that Gibson owns them.
Okay.
But they're coming with some cool stuff. Kurt Hammock's got a new guitar with ESP, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Steve Vai, his guitar, man.
Yeah, like the Jim.
No, you not seen the? You seen
oh yeah. I'm looking at that right now. I don't know if y'all can see this, but man, this is like I just want to call it like a musical steampunk piece of artwork.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the screen so we can see
put it on the screen so you don't have my redneck version of screen sharing over here that I'm trying to do.
So, and I'm just looking at a list because that's what I've read and watched videos on it here. So,
it's wild, man. It's got like, it's just an ornament basically. It looks like it's got stuff stuck all over it, man.
Yeah, so that is pretty incredibly cool.
But I'm sure most people know who Steve Vai is.
I got the Klon Centaur guitar, the Clonatar. That was pretty cool. So, Eastman developed a new solid body. I know, John, you're very passionate about Eastman guitars.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's kind of like a funky Les Paul-ish type wannabe.
You want to talk about that topic, that little thing below it, since you were something that you were passionate about?
What, Martin?
Yeah, you want to brush on that?
Yeah, I'll tell a little bit about that. So Martin, they unveiled a guitar there, and it looks like that it's basically
It's a Rich Robinson signature
it's a
D28.
Rich Robinson signature D28. And another fact that they dropped it at NAMM is the fact that CF Martin and Company has built 2.5 million acoustic guitars. That's unbelievable for acoustic guitar building. I mean, you're talking about some major work going into 2.5 million guitars.
I gotta say this. There's a...
That's not the Rich Robinson. Actually, that's what I was
Give me one
thinking.
second here.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this for a second. So this Martin that they debuted at NAMM, it is the 2.5 millionth guitar that Martin has made, and it's got like, let's see about this thing has got 436 diamonds on it. I mean, what is up with that? Oh, it looks like a Starry Night type situation.
It does.
Yeah, it's got like diamonds all over it, man. You actually can see it on my phone right there. Look at that screen share. That's pretty cool, though. But Martin's always doing stuff like that, man. They're notorious for doing things for anniversaries, doing big, elaborate guitars. And I don't know if I sound a little bit different to everybody. I'm using a different microphone today, and I'm doing it for certain reasons. But
we're going to touch on this next one here, and this is just what they put on the list, is amp simulator on your pedal board. That's a lot common here lately with like Kemper, Headrush, stuff like that,
yeah.
Boss.
I'll tell you something that's related to that's new, and but it's for a different instrument. Instead of having like a pedal board just for your guitars and stuff, and I don't know if this is in the form of a pedal board, but Slate Audio, they're doing microphone modeling now. So they have a microphone modeling engine, and they sell a mic that goes with it, and a condenser mic that goes with it too. And all these classic big time mics like the Naumann U87 that costs $3,600. You have a model of that mic in this engine thing that they've made. So
here's another question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
So what about that? What about that new audio thing you were mentioning to me earlier?
Oh yeah. Another cool thing. This goes for people like us out there that are podcasters or live streamers, and even musicians as well. But the legendary Rodecaster Pro. That's something that anybody that does podcasts, they either got one or they would like to have one, because it's a cool tool. It's got everything a podcaster would need at the tip of their fingers. The Rodecaster Pro's got like assignable pads. But they come out with a Rodecaster Pro 2 this time, and the biggest feature I saw on it is they have what they call Revolution preamps for their mic preamps. And these preamps supposedly do away with the need for a cloud lifter with all your gain-hungry dynamic microphones like this thing here, or like an SM7B. You don't have to have a cloud lifter because that thing provides like 76 dB of gain. So the Rodecaster Pro 2 is coming soon. They're on pre-order about everywhere right now. So that's something worth checking out if you're somebody that does stuff like what we're doing today here.
And there's a lot more stuff on NAMM that we're not going to cover.
Oh, I mean, it takes a weekend of walking around up there.
I mean, we could talk about a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's some luthier friends of mine that were there. But for sure, that was a pretty rad thing.
I'm gonna grab my uke real quick, or a uke. I'll be right back.
And we're gonna start on this topic when he gets back with the ukulele. So.
All right.
So before we jump into our topic here, at the end of our topic, we've got a little fun. We've got a little fun experiment. Well, not experiment, but a fun little thing. Will it ukulele, and should it be in the garbage and never brought back, or would you rock it on stage? So Jonathan's going to tell us, will he rock it, or should it just be thrown in the garbage and never brought back? So, will it ukulele is what it's going to be called. And just a little fun thing. So, I'm going to start off this discussion. I've actually got some questions. Luthier guy has actually got some questions for him.
Okay.
So
let's go.
So we're going to start off. So this is actually, I put a lot of thought in today's episode. I actually took the time to do some research and actually put a lot of thought in our episode for today. So one thing that I'm very passionate about or want to know about is there's so many ukuleles out there. And I know wood makes a difference with anything just as well as guitars. But here's something that I've questioned. So when somebody's buying their first ukulele, how crazy of a difference is it between that solid red ukulele for $30 to that ukulele you're going to spend $120 for? How much of a tone difference, a sound difference, how much of a difference is that besides parts wise and wood quality wise? How much of a difference is there? Some people argue that there's no difference between a $30 ukulele and a $125, that it all gets the same sound.
Well, the difference doesn't happen at that level really in ukuleles. It's more like guitars. There will be a difference in a $30 ukulele. Pretty much, if you get a $30 ukulele, it's probably going to be in the toy realm.
Like one of the bright Malejos. Malajo, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're around $30 to $50.
I was just giving a ballpark on
that's
price.
where you get to where you can get to a playable instrument is around the $50 range. And I still, for somebody that's going to be serious, I don't recommend that range. But sound-wise, if you step up to the $189 range, like a Cala solid top, something that's got a solid top, that's the first point where you're going to see a difference is whenever you go from that little plywood, halfway decent playable thing to you go into something that's got a piece of solid wood on top, just the top. And that's when you do see a difference. If it's plywood, I don't care how much you pay for it. Plywood's plywood. They're all going to be the same.
For
Once
sure.
you get into a solid piece of wood, that first step is a solid top, and then
is
from
there
there,
much of a tone difference between? I know besides parts make a difference. I do get that because tune and stability and whatnot.
Yeah.
But here's a major question: when you get into that $50 bright pink, bright purple, bright red, whatever color Malejo, $50, $25 to $50 ukulele, the question I have is there a difference? Does it, if you play that next to one that's like $500, is there?
Oh yes, there's a difference. When you get to the $500 range, you're getting into, you can buy a Martin ukulele for around $500. You can buy one for a little less than that, actually.
And I figured so, with the knowledge, but
you can buy something similar to this, and this is a little Martin soprano ukulele. This one's mahogany. That's another thing. There's two different classes to me of ukuleles. There's the old mahogany style ukulele, like this here. This is a vintage Martin SO, and then the Koa, and that's the more Hawaiian style ukulele.
Okay.
So
yeah, for sure. So
there's the Koa Hawaiian style, and they sound different. Listen to the difference. Like, here's a C chord on a Hawaiian style, or like a C to a G.
he's incredible, guys. All right, so let's hear this next one.
So this
I'm
next
excited.
one this is your little mahogany one. It's a lot more. It's a lot more like percussion-y.
I know there obviously is, but another question. And I'm not acting like I don't, but he's the expert on ukuleles. I'm just gonna say it now. But well, is when you go up, I know when you go up in size of ukuleles, there's definitely a broader difference with the
In size, yeah.
but does it affect the tone any when you go up in size, or does it just make it louder?
Yeah, like if I was going to play Hawaiian style music, I would play any size under a baritone.
Yeah.
And that's just because a baritone ukulele sounds a lot like a nylon string guitar. But I would go with like a tenor or a soprano in that Hawaiian style music. But there's some tiny ones that still pack the tone, man. Like these little sopranos, that like that little Martin. It's the tiniest one, normal ukulele, and
Now
they make even tinier ones now that are called
here's a
sopranismos.
question. Here's another good question for you, or not a question, but give us a little ukulele history. Give us a little bit of what you know.
Ukulele history. I know, like the Kamaka brand. That's like my tenor. They were the first people to come up with the pineapple ukulele. I know that the ukulele kind of started out.
As a pineapple, right?
No, it's no.
No.
The ukulele it kind of originated in Portugal, and then it was popularized in Hawaii. So these Portuguese immigrants, they brought it to Hawaii, and then the Hawaiian people, they had these things laying around, so they started experimenting with stringing them differently and tuning them differently because it was a little different when they got done with it. And then you had the ukulele. It was born from a Polynesian or a Portuguese instrument. Oh.
Yeah, so
And we're talking 19th century in
all right.
Hawaii.
We will be right back real quick. We
Okay.
have somebody coming in, so
Gotta take care of them customers, man. You all
All right.
All right. We're back, guys. Got to take care of them customers. But anyway, moving on. We were talking a little bit about the history of the ukulele, and I've kind of got a little more information here now. Had a little time. So it's commonly associated with music from Hawaii, but the name ukulele roughly translates to jumping flea. And they're thinking it's because of the movement of the player's fingers. Legend attributes it to the nickname of the Englishman Edward Purvis. He's one of the King of Hawaii, King Kalakua's officers, and it was because of his small hands, fidgety manner, and playing expertise. So that's a little bit about the name of it, and they did come from Portuguese origin, from several different small guitar-like instruments, such as the machete, the cavaquinho, the timple, and the rahau. They were introduced to the Hawaiian Islands by immigrants, and like I said before, after these immigrants brought these in, the Hawaiians started using them, man. They started trying to experiment with them, and that's how you got what you have today.
Yeah, so I
just have a lot of fun with ukes, man.
There's definitely like that point range and stuff with the ukulele. There's definitely like that good point range. It's like guitar. You can buy cheap or you can get up in the crazy. What would you here's a question, and we're gonna kinda tie this in. What would you recommend as a good starting price to get a ukulele at? What would you recommend that would not get you one that's like not an intermediate one, but one to start out
if
on?
I was gonna buy a ukulele to start out on, and I was already a musician of any type, I would probably buy something like Kala's Got a Run. Kala's a good brand for a reasonable ukulele. They've got a line out, their exotic wood series, and I'm sure they're laminate. But I've picked one up in a store and played it, and I thought they were pretty nice, and they're under $200. So that's something you can actually gig with if you wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's not bad. Under $200 to gig with, be able to gig with it.
What would you recommend on a ukulele if you were just starting? If you've been playing ukulele for a long while and you were pretty proficient, but you didn't know where to go on upgrading?
If I've been playing ukulele for, I've been playing ukulele for probably close to 10 years, and if I'm going out to buy a ukulele, just to be honest with you, I usually end up spending over $1,000, and it's just because once you hear the sound of a solid koa or an all-solid mahogany uke, man, that's actually playable, it's like going from a toy to a serious instrument, But now, I'm not going to take away from those Kalas, because I've got one of the Kala instruments here right now, and, they're pretty good.
You ever played a Mitchell?
I have picked Mitchells up in if I stop by, if I'm in Lexington and I accidentally stop by the big box place like Guitar Center or somewhere like that, and they've got a Mitchell hanging in there. A lot of times you'll see them in a baritone hanging there, and I'll grab one of them because it makes me want to pick it up because it looks like a tiny little dreadnought guitar hanging there. The Mitchell does, so I always pick it up. Yeah.
So here's a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played one.
Remember, shop small, don't shop big.
That's right, man. That's why I don't even like saying. That's why I say big box store. I don't even like saying their name.
So we're gonna talk some more about some ukuleles here in a minute, but we're gonna do this little segment here with a ukulele, and then once we do that little
this is gonna be instrument or trash.
Yes.
All right.
Will you rock it or not? So close your eyes. I want you to be surprised when you see it because I'm going to share it with you.
Okay, all right, eyes shut.
So, come here, and you should be able to see it now.
Trash it.
He said that quick. He didn't even have time to examine. He just said that quick.
It's a bedpan, man.
he said that so quick. All right, so give us your final thoughts on this. Look over it for a minute.
My final thoughts are: if it's playable, you'll be lucky. If it is, it's definitely like the ukulele equivalent of a homemade resonator.
So throw in the trash. So
The resonating bedpan.
So you wouldn't rock this on stage?
Probably not.
Are you
Oh
ready for the
man,
next
I hope it goes uphill from here. Or
Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, where are you finding this stuff? Hey, as funny as it is, I've saw ones made out of oil cans and things like that, and I would say I would probably be safer to bet that one would be playable than the last one. But I'm still not gigging with it.
Okay, okay. But it does look cool. All right, you ready for the next one?
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
And you don't have to close your eyes if you don't want to.
All right, let's see the next one. Is this some kind of hit on ukuleles?
Weird and bizarre ukuleles. So this is a apple pie shaped ukulele.
That's like tinier than a soprano too. I mean, look how many frets. That thing's got like 4 frets, man.
Would you rock it?
If it played, I'd rock it.
Okay, we got one he'd rock.
If it played.
All right, so the next one, we had some discreet viewers send in some pictures of Jonathan last time he got mad while playing the ukulele. No, I'm kidding. This is the next one. Would you rock that?
Damn. That one looks a little better. That one looks like it's made a little better. I'd try it.
All right, so now we've got some people that sent in some photos, and about a year ago, Jonathan was playing ukulele, and it's what happens when you mess with Jonathan while he's playing ukulele.
Yeah. That one's seen better days.
But for real.
If that's one of those $50 ukuleles you're talking about
Yeah.
that somebody's taking apart, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
probably was playable and pretty decent at one time for a beginner ukulele.
But I mean, all these, the bedpan, the cooktam, the spam. I kind of want spam now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of never wanted spam.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably definitely right.
But yeah, I've saw a lot of ukuleles made out of weird stuff like that. But man, in seriousness, I recommend, if you really want to learn how to play one and want to be serious, a couple $100 is probably where I'd try to get there pretty quick.
Don't get bored at work if you work at a nursing home and try to make the bedpan.
Yeah. Don't be wasting bedpan.
I know his face when he seen that bedpan was just funny. You were not expecting that, was you?
No, I thought maybe we'd make it to a real ukulele there for a minute.
No, it was just kind of a little funny thing. Crazy ukuleles.
Man.
But we will make it to some crazy ukuleles here in just a second. I'll pull some stuff up on the screen and.
I tell you what, some of the top brands of ukuleles is Kamaka, Canalea, which there's a Canalea in the thumbnail for this video.
Yeah. And here's another one. Let's bring up the Banjo Ukulele, because that's a popular thing.
Yeah, and Deering makes one of those now.
So does Harley Benton.
Yeah, there's several places that make them. Gretsch makes one out in their Roots.
Epiphone makes one, I think.
There's several, man. I have only picked one up. I saw a Deering somewhere one time, and I thought, man, that's got to be pretty decent quality. So I picked it up and kind of picked on it a little bit. They're really neat, man. They got a cool sound to them, and there's resonators out there too.
I mean, there's definitely some great stuff. What did you think about that V ukulele?
Yeah, that is a Gibbs little Epiphone.
No, it's not an Epiphone, actually.
Oh, I thought it was.
It's the brand.
I think Epiphone made one at one
but
time.
But it's what's that first brand you named off?
Cala?
No, the one you named off that's in the thumbnail.
Canalea?
Yeah, Canalea makes that.
Makes a V?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like crazy wood too. It's like crazy wood, but it's really cool.
Pono, I've got one of their ukuleles,
You
one of
got it
their
with you?
guitars.
You got the Pono ukulele?
I don't have the Pono up here with me. The Pono is downstairs. It's actually borderline of getting kicked out of the ukulele world because it's even bigger than a baritone. It's tuned as a baritone, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
more
I've
like
seen
the
that
size.
thing. Yeah, I
It's about the
remember.
size of a tenor guitar.
So, if you had one recommendation to people, if you had one recommendation, what do you and what do you think if you thought somebody was going out today and they were wanting to get their feet wet in ukulele. They already bought one. What would you recommend for them to learn ukulele?
Like what kind of approach to learn
Yeah, what kind of
ukulele?
approach? What kind of approach would you give?
Man, I really just started out with just like I did on guitar. I knew my basic, I knew what chords I wanted to learn first, or what I ended up learning first in guitar. So I started with those chords on ukulele. I got proficient on changing between those chords, and then I started trying to play songs like Jason Mraz type tunes because that's some of the stuff I like that sounds good on a ukulele.
And he makes it sound good too.
Thank you. I try my best.
He's
I haven't played a lot of ukulele. I don't know. For some reason, I've been drawn to playing a lot of guitar lately. But
he's been really on a kick of that Martin, haven't you?
yeah, I've been playing a lot of that Martin here lately. But I need to get back into playing ukulele more. There was a long time period there that I most exclusively almost played ukuleles. I was so into them. But I switch back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those things.
I try not to get bored with anything. So
Yeah, so this is a question I hear people ask, and some people are going to be like, "Well, I've never heard of this. It's going to be stupid." But some people ask, are the ukulele and mandolin related? I've heard people ask me in store this before,
the
and
only thing that relates those two is they have strings
and the size
and they're both chromatically fretted.
and the size they're smaller,
They're small, yeah. But
small,
no,
but
they're totally tuned differently.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So I mean, there's a
Your
lot of
mandolin has pairs, so
yeah. I mean, it's
I love the sound of a good mandolin, though, man. I really do.
I mean, I'm very tickled with mine. I mean, I need to learn to
Yeah,
play
I
with
really
mine.
like that one you have.
Yeah, I got a great price on it.
Yeah, that's a good looking mandolin. Good sounding mandolin.
Yeah, so here's another thought or food for your thought. So, what do you what does people like? What do you recommend as like a pickup for a ukulele? Somebody's wanting to get in. What do you recommend? Do you recommend like do they make an under saddle? And I'm saying this, guys, because
I recommend either a K&K.
I don't play ukulele and I'm not familiar with the pickup stuff or configurations. But
I'd probably recommend either a K&K twin spot, or I would recommend a Nui Nui that's another company. They make a really good one. And then one of the top dogs is the LR Bags Uke 5.0. And I've actually got that in my Pono baritone. And I really like it. It's got a
yeah,
good.
for sure. So I mean that's
So
incredibly.
Bags is kind of like king across. They're pretty popular across all kinds of acoustic pickups.
Yeah.
I like Bags better than Fishman, and my Martin is a Fishman, but I like Bags better.
I'll tell you what, I really like K&K stuff, and I like some of the fish. I think there's an LR Bags. I'm not sure what's in my Gibson acoustic,
Yeah, I like it. I think
but
it's like I think it is a Bags in your Gibson.
you remember the story about how Somewhere Over the Rainbow was recorded? How,
A little, yeah,
how that he woke up in his sleep or something like that.
yeah. Man, that song. I mean, it really changed the game for the ukulele. I can't pronounce his last name, but most people just call him Iz, and I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's
So
a really big guy that played Somewhere Over a Rainbow. And it was a medley. It was a medley of Somewhere Over a Rainbow
now
and
he
What a
didn't
Wonderful
write Somewhere
World.
Over the Rainbow.
And he didn't write What a Wonderful World, but he did a medley of those two and played
The
it on
original writer
ukulele.
was Yip Harburg.
Yeah. But man, when Iz put it down on a ukulele, I mean, it changed the game for that song. It gave it new life. And it gave his career life, period.
Yeah, so I mean that. So I mean it was great. So is Kamakawio, the singer,
I knew you was going to try it.
Kamakawio, old singer and activist of Hawaiian ancestry, embody the words gentle giant, remembered as a really sweet man by those who need him.
Yeah.
Kamakawio died in 1997 at the age of 38. So he did Somewhere Over the Wizard of Oz song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, first made famous by Judy Garland, which, so, I mean, he was, so it was one take and he was over. He was recording, so I think, so in 1988, recording studio manager Milan Bertozzo was rapping a long day at 3 a.m. when the phone rang. A regular client had called on behalf of him who had an idea he wanted everyone to see through. Bertozza was then put on the phone. I can't pronounce his name, and I'm not going to try. But Bertozza remembers as a really sweet man, well-mannered, just kind. Please, can I come in? He asked Bertozza. About 15 minutes later, a knock on the door. Walks in the largest human being I'd ever seen in my life. Throughout his life, I ain't going to pronounce it, suffered obesity, weighing as heavy as 757 pounds.
Dang.
First thing at hand to find something to sit on, remembered something from building security, gave Israel a big steel chair. Then I put some microphones, do a quick sound check, roll tape, and the first thing he does is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He played and sang one take and it was over. The next day, Bertozzo gave copy for Israel and kept the master for himself. Over time, he found himself playing, I ain't gonna pronounce it, but his recording for the family and friends, it was that special. He said whatever was going on that night, he was inspired. That is incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah, one take and you instantly just made a classic. I mean,
yeah, for sure, one take, and I mean that's just incredible. It blows my mind there.
took his career and just sent it into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I
Made
mean,
him a Hawaiian national hero or state hero. You know, I always can't. I gotta kind of get into my head that Hawaii is not a nation. I always want to call somebody like their national hero. It's a state. So
yeah.
anyway,
So I heard you want to do a song for us, maybe.
oh, I guess. I guess I will.
He sounds incredible.
I'll give it a shot.
He's incredible. Don't let him lie to you.
Don't build me up too far.
Hey, I'm not building him up. I'm just telling the truth.
Put any pressure on me here. All right, give me just a sec. Let me get together here. Won't take me very long. All right.
You want to tell him what the name of it is?
Yeah, this is Lady May by Tyler Childers, so bear with me here. I'm a stone's throw from the mill, and I'm a good walk to the river. When my working day is over, we'll go swim our cares away. Put your toes down in the water and a smile across your face, and tell me that you love me, lovely Lady May. Well, I ain't the sharpest chisel that your hands have ever held, but darling, I can love you well till the roll is called on high. Well, I've seen my share of trouble, and I've held my weight in shame, but I'm baptized in your name, lovely Lady May. Lord, the wind can leave you shivering as it waltzes o'er the leaves. It's been rushing through my timber till your love brought on the spring. Now the mountains all are blushing and they don't know what to say, except a good long line of praises for my lovely Lady May. Now I ain't the toughest hickory that your axe has ever failed, but I'm a hickory just as well. I'm a hickory all the same. Came crashing through the forest as you cut away my roots, and I fell a good long way for my lovely Lady May. I appreciate it, man. He's a really hard guy to cover, man, vocally, and he's kind of got his own time signature and a lot of stuff, and but I really like Tyler Childers, man. He's some of the best talent that's come out of Kentucky in a long time. Oh, man. It's so bad you had to generate an artificial intelligent audience.
We don't have an audience. We don't have a live audience, so.
Anyway, thanks, man.
But,
yeah, good episode.
Yeah, I mean, you get to spend the morning with the two best looking faces of Tuesday morning, which is me and Jonathan. So, I mean,
oh, yeah. We hope we've got content, because if you're just dependent on looking at us, we're in trouble.
But we may have some special guests coming up for some future episodes.
You know, I want to. I really like it when we do guests on our episodes. That's some of my favorite stuff we do, is when we have somebody on. Dave was great. Kevin Collier was great.
I think here in a future episode we're gonna have Brad Harden on.
Cool. Yeah. I can't wait, man.
I'll tell you what, that guy there is he is incredibly gifted.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
You guys haven't gave him a follow yet, man. I tell you what, not just because I'm his guitar tech and because I go, but man, when I first heard that guy play, he sold me a long time ago, and I believe in him more than probably anybody else. He sold me a long time ago. It's not the fact that I'm because of him. It's because I truly think that man's got a gift. And
he does.
And I mean, I think, in my opinion, he's the best person ever. He played a pop-up show at Sunset Marina this past Sunday, and the guy that ran the marina is like, "Hey, man," he's like, "This guy here almost brought me to tears of one of his songs," and it's like, man, I mean, when he sings Nutshell, I fight back the tears, man, because his voice. I'm being honest. He is incredible.
Yeah, he's good at it, man.
I mean, he's natural. My buddy Rob from he's not from here. He said, "Man, I've heard 1,000 people play and sing." He said, "But I've never heard somebody that's played and sing like he has. He is actually truly gifted."
Yep.
He said
Absolutely.
he's up there with Chris Stapleton, is what he compared him to. And this guy here has heard 1,000 people. He's in his 60s, so he's, it takes a lot to amaze somebody that's been around the music scene for a long while. But this guy here was truly impressed. So
Yeah, I've been impressed with him too. I think you might have met somebody I know the other day.
Who was that?
A guy named Gary.
Gary.
I worked with him at Donnelly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
My wife sent me a text, said, I think Gary met Brandon.
Yeah, so, yeah.
He's a drummer.
Gary, if you're listening, that offer's still available because we need you. Our drummer quit, so if anybody's wanting to drum, you can hit us up.
Hey, man, Gary's been drumming for years, man. You'd be lucky to have him if he did have time to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he was sitting around telling his campfire stories about back in the day.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I've had a good episode. Let's
Yeah, so we look forward to spending Tuesday mornings with you here on the FretJob.
Yeah, man, y'all have a good week too. I mean, go out there and play some music this week.
Come out and buy a guitar from me. That would be
Go
great.
buy a guitar this week. Go up there. I mean, man, if he don't have it, he'll try to get it for you. So, give him a shout out, man. This is the best guitar salesman that I've ever known.
The only thing I can't get for you is your Couth back. But I'll try.
But yeah, no kidding, guys. Have a great week, Brandon.
Thanks for watching the FretJob.
Talk to you in a